crumbling of coalition politics has turned into finger-pointing in Gauteng. The DA is blaming Action SA for the removal of Mpho Phalatse as mayor in Johannesburg. This has led to the ANC regaining the top spot in the economic hub, with Dada Morero elected mayor last week. In Ekurhuleni, the DA is running affairs with a minority coalition. Could that coalition government also crumble? And what about the other coalitions in the rest of the country, particularly where the DA is in charge? Let's discuss this with the DA's Gauteng leader, Solly Msimanga. Mr. Msimanga, thank you very much for your time here and thank you for your patience. Let's start with issues pertaining to the province of Gauteng. Action SA, I'm sure you heard earlier this week, warning that the DA and its coalition partners will soon be losing Ekurhuleni. Is that the same sentiment that you're getting?
Well, we're getting intel that the Action SA might actually be doing what we have known that they will be doing, and that they will be voting with the ANC in no time. We should not be surprised if they take part in the government and take executive positions in government in Johannesburg, if they take positions in Ekurhuleni, and even take position in Tshwane. And we have said, that this is where they will be going. The amount of time they spend explaining, really tells a lot about what the intentions are, because nobody explains if they have their facts straight, but they continuously explain if they don't have the facts straight. But going back to your question, we are concerned that, it doesn't look like, we're moving in the direction where all the parties are interested in serving, but are more interested in what position they get and, who's offering what position in what party, in what municipality. And therefore, then it becomes a trading of positions more than it becomes, the serving of the people. And this is something that we are very, very much concerned about. And we still continuously engaging with the other parties that want to ensure that there is better service delivery, that there is an alternative to an ANC governing party anywhere or governing in any sphere of government, in whether a local, a provincial, and national level. And this is something that we thought that we were beginning to build with all the multi-party partners.
And any concern when it comes to the city of Tshwane? I mean, at some point it was touch and go with Mayor Randall Williams pertaining to, of course, that water treatment plant project, etc. Are you concerned about the capital city as well?
Well, look, I mean, you can never say that anything is very guaranteed when you are dealing with, partners where it doesn't look like there is a level of honesty in terms of how you're dealing. So I cannot say that any of our governments are actually very much safe and secure at this point in time. But what I can tell you right now is that our mayors and our executive committee members are on the ground. They're continuously doing the work. They're not waiting for the day where there will be motions passed against them. They will continuously be on the ground doing the work, communicating with the communities in terms of the work that is being done. And then that's what we are going to continuously do. We're not going to spend much time, dwelling on whether there will be a motion of no confidence in Mayor Randall or in Mayor Campbell. We will continuously do what needs to be done. But what we are also going to do is we're going to continuously fight in Johannesburg, to ensure that things are done in a legal manner, that the residents of Johannesburg know that, Mpho Phalatse and those that were serving with her in her executive, only had the best at heart for them, and they will continuously, fight to make sure that Johannesburg residents are put first.
All right, let's talk about the sentiments that are going around, not only with Action SA. This was said about the DA by COPE. This was said about the DA by the Patriotic Alliance, etc., that the DA is too arrogant to be able to run a multi-party coalition because the DA refuses to listen to other people, very arrogant, and wants to take up all positions and not give others a chance. This is what they've been saying. It's not only Action SA that's saying that, to a point where Action SA is saying, look, we're prepared to even be the opposition now instead of partnering with the DA.
Well, it's very interesting that the people that have shown arrogance all along are the people that have really brought this coalitions down. The DA has been very, very accommodative. We have given 2 of our positions in Ekurhuleni to the Patriotic Alliance. People don't know that. We've given 2 of our positions, chairperson positions in Johannesburg to the Patriotic Alliance. People don't know that. What this has been all about has been a jostling for positions. And unfortunately, your Action SA and your PA, wanted to convince IFP to then come up and, want the position of Speaker. Which we didn't have a problem, if the multi-party coalition was of the view that we needed to.
Not according to the letter that they said they received via email from the FedEx.
Well, can I explain to you?
Yes, please.
Can I explain to you?
Yeah.
What we did was to say that you have a contract that is written, which we stuck by. But we then said, if there is a need to change that contract, can we then not only look at one position? We are almost at a year where we are in government. Can we look at all the positions and then from there decide whether these people that we put in these positions are indeed delivering? And if they are not delivering, then it's not a change that is done on an ad hoc basis. We are able to then do the changes all around if needs be. But Action SA didn't want that because they knew that the PA wanted a position that Action SA occupy. But it goes further. Action SA also, then wanted to bargain on Pope's position that is of chair of chairs. So it was almost like people are holding guns to each other's heads and saying, well, you give me that position and that one will take this position. And then it becomes then, a domino effect. And this is why we were saying, rather, calm down, everybody. Let's go defend the position that we have of Speaker in Council and then do the review, a complete review if we need to, and then decide which positions go where. And this is what the DA has been saying all along. But unfortunately, because, Action SA, or let's start with the PA. PA had already, decided, and you've heard from Ekurhuleni, you've heard from Gauteng McKenzie that they've been having multiple meetings with the ANC, that they were not really interested in remaining in the coalition because it looks like there was already a deal by Sunday before the motions were served. They were already discussing, at Lily's leave, who's going to get what position. So then we've come now to know. And it looks like there's meetings that have been taking place between Action SA and the ANC as well. But, we'll wait for them to make those announcements very, very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting time. And I mean, Mr. Msimanga, as the Gauteng head, when you look at what's been happening in the province and what's likely to happen in Ekurhuleni, it looks like the coalition has crumbled. There is no coalition. If, for instance, some political parties have come out in public to say we don't want to work with the DA or have had those sentiments. So even with your colleague Mpho Phalatse taking this to court, I mean, it doesn't guarantee her the position again once a motion of no confidence is tabled in council. It would still mean she doesn't have those votes by the coalition partners.
Well, for us taking this matter to to court is not only because we want Mpho Phalatse to retain her position. It's about a fight for what is right and for what is legal. We are trying to stop any illegal precedents from being set where people can do an illegal act and then we then condone it as an act of democracy, as an act in which we are then going to be running government. And this is why we are going to court in a manner. We're not, allergic to sitting in opposition benches, but it needs to be done in a legal manner if that is the case. But we're not going to be giving up the fight for the people of Johannesburg for better services, for a corruption-free government, and for a transparent government. And this is what we want to give the people of Johannesburg. And this is why we'll fight to the bitter end. Not only for Johannesburg, but the municipalities.
Well, there's no political party that is clean, right? I mean, there's people resigning even in the DA at the moment. There's been issues in COPE, etc. But I just want to squeeze in one more question with you pertaining to the province of Gauteng. The resignation of David Makhura yesterday, Banyaza Lesufi being sworn in tomorrow. What are your thoughts around the current movements within the ANC that affect the province that you, of course, will be running for in 2024?
Well, look, I don't think that we can expect anything different at this point in time. From Panyaza Lesufi, it's like the same thing that happened after Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa was introduced as, the new Messiah, and we saw that that has really given us absolutely nothing new. In fact, things has deteriorated even further, and this is what is going to happen. We're talking about transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization. You tell me what has been transformed, because we have actually even digressed in certain instances. We are now sitting in a province that is the economic hub of South Africa. But when load shedding hits, it hits us the most. Whereas in the Western Cape, they're able to then shield their residents to even be 2 levels lower in terms of load shedding. And this is something that when we talk about transformation, we need to be talking to. But given the fact that, Panyaza is not really entirely in control of his PEC, he's going to find it very, very difficult to appoint MECs that are, according to him, the right people to do the job. But over and above that,
all right, apologies.
Over and above that also,
Apologies for that, Mr. Msimanga. We've run out of time because I can also see that the meeting request that we've sent to you is starting to notify us that our time is running out. But thank you so much for speaking to us here on ENCA. And of course, I see that I would ask you one more question, but I'm sure your answer would be yes to, the fact that you probably believe that you do better than both Panyaza Lesufi and David Makhura, despite your tenure as mayor in the city of Tshwane. All right, that was Solly Msimanga. He's the leader of the DA in the Gauteng province. Still to come.